How's it going, everyone? This is Midnight Strike 3625, and it has finally come full circle. The first album review I've ever done on YouTube was Worship Music by Anthrax, and here we are almost 4.5 years later to talk about its follow-up, For All Kings. And, as you can see, it's got a slide-off cover right there to reveal the true album artwork, with a bunch of statues sitting in front of the Anthrax star. Of course, it doesn't have the logo or the title on it. That's what this is for. You slide it back on. Everything else is grayed out but the star. And this actually makes it look like it's shining, which is really cool. It's an interesting album art idea. I've never really seen anything like it before. And it's got some holographic images on the back that shine. And in true Anthrax review fashion, like I did with Worship Music, I'm going to show you guys the actual album art itself. Like I said, holographic, so it shines, with portraits of the band members, along with the lyrics to it. And on the back, you'll see the track listing. I actually have a complaint about that I will get into later. And the album itself, right here. It's kind of hard to grab when you're without squeezing this, basically. So I don't want to scratch it up, especially since I just got it a couple days ago. Here we go. It is chrome colored, so you can see everything behind me, including my webcam that I'm using to record this. A little bit of inception there. Right there. See? Yeah. So, really cool album. Really good album. Really cool design. So, props to whoever designed this beast of an album art. This beast of a jacket that we use for the album. Props to whoever designed it, because it's brilliant. Absolutely love it. And this right here is a guy we're going to talk about. John Denies. John Denies. I don't really know how to pronounce his last name, but he is from one of my favorite bands, Shadows Fall. Now, they took a hiatus in 2014 after it was announced that John will be joining Anthrax, and let me tell you, he adds a ton of different influences that were not present on Worship Music, that were very prevalent on such metalcore releases as Fire from the Sky, The War Within, Retribution, stuff like that on Shadows Fall's repertoire. So he adds a very unique flavor, a very unique twist to this album that you wouldn't get without him, and that's very interesting and very unique as well. So start off with this album. If you were expecting something in the vein of Worship Music, you are going to be very pleased, because this is a great follow-up, an excellent follow-up to the beast, the monster at the end, no pun intended, that was Worship Music. It's a bashing, thrashing good time, and a lot of people I've seen online are saying that a lot of this is very reminiscent of older material, and it's very dark. It's very in the realm, in the vein of persistence of time. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. While it is very, very reminiscent of older material, I would kind of mix it with a little bit of persistence and a little bit of Among the Living. It does have that serious edge to it, granted by John Denies from Shadows Fall, but it also has kind of that sense of fun, those bouncing, jumping rhythm sections, especially in the beginning of You Gotta Believe and For All Kings, and even in Breathing Lightning a little bit as well, that you'll find, especially in Evil Twin, that are very reminiscent of Among the Living era Anthrax. So it does have that sense of humor, that sense of fun, I should say, that really had been missing from a lot of Anthrax releases prior to Worship Music. Now, this is a very good continuation of the style found on Worship Music. A lot of what was there is here as well. Now, they add a lot of different elements to this with the two songs Impaled and You Gotta Believe. Impaled, of course, being an intro to You Gotta Believe. Now, I don't know why they chose to do what they did and split these two songs apart. Actually, the leaked file had them joined together as one song, so I don't really know why they did that, but really the two songs together are around roughly 7 minutes and 30 some seconds, and it is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's the first progressive song that Anthrax has ever done, and I gotta say, for a first effort, it is just absolutely great. The guitars stand out. His voice, Joey Belladonna's vocals, are just amazing. They just add a punch to that song that wasn't really prevalent on a lot of the other stuff, especially in like State of Euphoria era. You know, it's pretty much the tamest Anthrax album out there. With, of course, Breathing Lightning. This is the more popish, radio-oriented song. It's a really good single, especially for the second single. I would actually place it in the same way if I was promoting the album. I would say, you know, hey, this is your most radio-friendly song. Put it out there as a second single. You know, it just has that I want to be a single kind of vibe to it, especially like a second single after the heavy one, which was Evil Twin. Now, with Evil Twin, I will say that this is where the album starts to dip in quality a little bit. I love me some Evil Twin, Suzerain, Breathing Lightning, For All Kings, especially the title track. And You Gotta Believe, of course, Monster at the end. But with Evil Twin, it seems to dip in quality. This album is very top-heavy to me. Every song after Evil Twin just seems like it was written in haste for some reason. It seems like they needed a long epic ballad, or not ballad. They needed a long epic, and that was Blood Eagle Wings. They needed something that sounded like Stand or Fall, so they wrote Defend Avenge. This Battle Chose Us. I don't really care much for that song. Zero Tolerance is a very good closer, though, I will say. It's very fast-paced. It's got a lot of heavy riffs in it, and it does pack that punch like the beginning aforementioned You Gotta Believe, and of course Monster at the End and For All Kings. So that being said, you know, All of Them Thieves is another one. It sounds like Among the Living era Anthrax, but for some reason just the chorus repeated over and over again, all of them thieves, all of, you know, it just kind of bores me a little bit. I think Anthrax, if they would have tried to write something a little bit more unique, could have actually made that song into something, but as far as it stands right now, it falls. So, it's an okay song, but it's not the best. Evil Twin, I touched on a little bit earlier as the album's dipping point in quality, but Evil Twin itself is pretty decent. I especially like the chorus part where it just kind of gets really, really sophisticated and dark a little bit with Joey Belladonna, you know, whispering and all that. But overall, this album is fantastic, I must say. It plays it a little bit safe, much like Dystopia does, but all in all, it's a really good album, and I like it a lot. So, one of the only complaints that I have, like I said, about the track listing, is it doesn't include the intros, outros too. Impaled and Breathing Out. It doesn't include those two songs on there. So you're always going to be 2 songs behind if you're trying to type in all the track listing, like You Gotta Believe you're going to type in for Impaled, and you're just going to be really fucked up when it comes to that. And I had to actually look up the names because they're not in the album inlay anywhere at all. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but as far as that goes, it's not a big deal. You could just look it up, I suppose. Overall, like I said, fantastic album, fantastic follow-up to a brilliant album that is Worship Music, and this is the first album that Joey Belladonna has been present for the entirety of its creation and conceptualization. Now, with John Denays, with his influence, it just makes it even better, I think. It enhances Anthrax's ability to make really fast, thrashy music. So, overall, I would probably rate this one a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great album, excellent effort, excellent follow-up to Worship Music, though I would say I like Worship Music just a titch better, actually. Maybe it was the hype, maybe it's just nostalgia from being the first album I ever reviewed, but I do like Worship Music just a tad bit more. But this is an absolute epic right here. For All Kings, 9.5 out of 10. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.